Hello, and welcome to the Gamers Reality Podcast, based off the gamers-reality.com website and Scrimma Games Gamers Reality YouTube channel. We're here to talk about all things gaming. I am your host, Kevin Scrimma. In every Pokemon game, a few kids from each region and a small town strive to become the Pokemon champion one day, or to take that title away from another champion. If we look through the history of previous champions of the Pokemon League by studying the previous Pokemon games, we can come up with an easy formula showing just exactly how to become the champion. The rivals in Pokemon could use this guide, because no matter how hard they try, they're just destined to be second best. Kind of sad, really. But the rivals are usually douchebags or something, then the other champions got there through privilege. So there's that. At least we're good people. Isn't that right? Well, I guess some of us are, anyway. Hello gamers, and welcome back to another episode of Game Thesis, the place where we don't tolerate any BS or hype with our theories and instead care about a logical discussion to support our theories. Yep, we are back with some new Game Thesis episodes. Video game motivation is coming back too, don't worry. So, let's discuss the formula for becoming the Pokemon champion. Here's our game thesis. To become the Pokemon champion, the trainer must live in the correct zip code or town, get a free rare Pokemon along with a Pokédex from the Pokemon Professor, have an obsessed rival, win lots of battles and collect lots of money, be at the right place at the right time, which includes almost single-handedly taking down a criminal organization, and catching a legendary or mythical Pokemon, and just battling the Pokemon League. But, of course, all of this requires having the right mother. First, live in the correct zip code or town. For that, you need to be born in the right family with the right mother. It always seems to be the mother who moves into town that just so happens to have the Pokemon Professor there. And the father is usually absent. That's just the way it goes in the Pokemon games, no offense to fathers out there. There are usually only a couple houses in the town where the Professor lives. Plus, you live next to the Pokemon Professor, so that's going to be pretty expensive. In fact, there aren't many houses or buildings in the Pokemon world, especially compared to how many people there are, and the fact that all homes are taken, which is going to make them even more expensive. Regardless if the professor is in the exact same town or not, the mother usually has the connections necessary to have their child meet the professor. Step 2. Get a free rare Pokemon along with a Pokédex from the Professor. This starter Pokemon can evolve into a powerful Pokemon to help the trainer catch other Pokemon, defeat trainers in gyms, and enter the Pokemon League. If it wasn't for the starter Pokemon, and if, say, the trainer just caught a low-level bug type at first, the trainer's journey would be a lot more difficult. The Professor even helps transfer and store your Pokemon, of course, which will help with his or her research, along with any entries you get for the Pokédex. It's a trade-off though. You get the Pokédex and starter Pokemon if you'll help him with his Pokemon research. Not a bad deal. Step 3. Have a rival. Notice how the rival is always either one step ahead or one step behind you. The rival challenges the other trainer to constantly improve and grow. Without a rival, the journey is more casual, and you don't have a constant to help measure each other's growth. The rival usually has a similar journey as the other trainer. The rival lives in a town near the professor thanks to the mother or family and gets a free Pokemon and Pokédex, which allows him to eventually overcome the Elite Four and even possibly become the Pokemon champion. There's usually only 2 or a couple trainers who share the same experience or opportunity at the same time. So it's like you're only really competing with a couple of people instead of like 100. Imagine if there was just one big day for everybody to get their starter Pokemon and hundreds of trainers came to the professor's house. That would be a lot of competition. But the rival knows he just has one or a few people to compete with. The rival is smart enough to go last and pick the starter Pokemon that has a type advantage over the Pokemon the other trainer picked. I'd be like, yeah, you would do that, cause you'll need every advantage you can get to beat me. In other words, you and these trainers who meet with the Pokemon Professor get an opportunity that most people or trainers don't get. Now, these trainers still have to do something with the opportunity they're given, which isn't that hard. The hard part is actually getting the opportunity, or essentially being born in the right family. If you're born in the wrong family, you'd become anyone, be it from a member of Team Rocket, a picnic girl, a ninja boy, a bug catcher, a juggler, a hiker, a lass, a rich boy, a biker, a gym leader, an absent father, a member of the Elite Four, Nurse Joy or Officer Jenny, or even the clerk at the Pokemart, and many, many more kinds of trainers, maybe even a sexy swimmer. I'd rather be the Pokemon champion, bro. Step 4. Hopefully you win a lot of gym battles and get that cash, because you'll need to buy lots of Pokeballs and other items to be the best. But what do you have to worry about? You have an amazing starter Pokemon. That Pokemon got you the cash you needed to catch more amazing Pokemon and defeat all the gym leaders. You're good. Step 5. Be at the right place at the right time. Or be at the wrong place at the wrong time. Coincidentally, this journey will usually make you clash with gangs of criminals, which is pretty intense for a kid who has just become a Pokemon trainer. Going against these gangs of criminals will only make you a stronger Pokemon trainer, and even potentially encounter legendary and mythical Pokemon that you can catch. Getting a Master Ball that can catch any Pokemon from a company just because you saved them from a gang of criminals through Pokemon battles? Heck yeah! That Master Ball you get along your journey will be useful just in case you ever so happen to stumble on a legendary Pokemon, which definitely will never happen, right? I mean, who could be so lucky to encounter and catch a legendary— oh my god, it's a legendary Pokemon! What a surprise! I did not see that one coming. And you can use that powerful Pokemon against the Elite Four and your rival, and they'll be all like, I wish I had that Pokemon, help me, I'm no match for your amazing legendary and mythical Pokemans. Sweets. Not only that, but you also help save the region from a gang of criminals and help fix all the problems they caused. Damn, you are one badass kid. Maybe you do deserve that Pokemon champion title after all. But don't forget to thank your mom, because remember, if it weren't for her and living in the same town with the Pokemon professor and having the professor as a contact, none of this would be happening. You would just be some nobody bug catcher, or even worse, your rival. Okay, that's actually not worse. But you would have to live with your rival surpassing you and always winning against you in Pokemon battles, along with taking the Pokemon champion title away from you and having legendary and mythical Pokemon that you'll never be able to have. As long as you can live with all that salt, you'd be all set. Step 6 would be to beat the Pokemon League. But you already have everything you need to do that. You've taken down a criminal organization, and the Elite Four usually didn't even bother to help, so winning against them should be no problem. You have at least one legendary or mythical Pokemon with you. You have all that cash from winning those Pokemon battles to buy full restores and revives and hyper potions for the Pokemon League, which isn't against the rules. You've taken advantage of every opportunity you were given, and were even given free, strong Pokemon along the way. Your Pokemon are already so strong from wanting to make sure you'd beat your rival each and every time. The rare starter Pokemon you got from the professor is super amazing and strong. You know a lot about Pokemon and which ones you've seen and caught thanks to the Pokédex. And of course, you have your mom to thank for being in the right town in that expensive house and having the right connections. And now, you're the Pokemon champion. So, as long as you follow that formula, you should be Pokemon champion no problem. Unless you're Ash. Then you just suck. Never catching a legendary Pokemon, letting your best Pokemon go for the greater good of the Pokemon and the Pokemon world. Plus, the plot is kinda against you. Like in that one Greninja battle. Yeah, sorry Ash. Hope you win one of the Pokemon Leagues someday. But he's still 10 or whatever. He has time. And you are the Pokemon champion, unless you're the rival. Sometimes the rival is Pokemon champion for like a couple of minutes, but since they do follow most of the formula, why do they not stay as Pokemon champion? Because their personality and character usually gets in the way. They are sometimes rude and selfish, or they are just too overly kind. They didn't catch any legendary Pokemon, and even though they helped stop a criminal organization, they didn't do as much work as you did. Plus, they usually have an obsession of getting ahead of you, because that's all they care about. That stops them from being a better Pokemon trainer. And when they choose a type advantage, they try to take the easy way out. They think, I better get every advantage possible so I can always win. And even though you're at a disadvantage, you still find ways to win. And that makes you work harder and think smarter to overcome that disadvantage. And you as a Pokemon trainer rise to any challenge, regardless of the situation, and go where most other Pokemon trainers are afraid to go, going to the right place at the right time. As player 1, you were naturally made to become the Pokemon champion. But since you're the Pokemon champion, you probably have a mom to thank. So you just fly and go back home and tell her thank you. Because without you, Mom, and my absent father, and the Pokemon professor who gave me a free Pokemon and Pokédex, and my rival who is obsessed with me, and that criminal organization who kept getting in my way, and that legendary Pokemon I caught, but mainly if it weren't for you, Mom, I would have never become a Pokemon champion. Happy Mother's Day, I guess. And that, gamers, was a game thesis. A no BS game thesis. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Whatever platform you're using to listen to the podcast, feel free to subscribe and write a review. It really is a big help for everyone involved. You can check out any show notes on our website, gamers-reality.com. Feel free to sign up for the free newsletter there, and you'll receive free stuff from me and be the first to know when I upload a podcast. You can also check out the podcast YouTube channel, Scrimma Games, Gamers Reality, where I stream games, make game reviews, have game thesis episodes, video game motivation episodes, and much more. It's Scrimma Games just for Twitch and Mixer, and also for my Facebook page and Xbox Gaming Tag. You can follow me on Twitter at Kevin Scrimma. And last, if you're enjoying all the content I'm putting out there for the YouTube channel, blog, podcast, and whatnot, please consider becoming a supporter by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Kevin Scrimma. Donating just $1 a month will help cover the costs of keeping things up and running. Doing all of this certainly costs money, such as for hosting platforms, but I have a lot of fun and enjoy giving content to you guys. Simply put, your donations will allow me to make even more content for you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me and listening, and I'll see you next time. Peace.